starts moving, stop, and move, and stop. Oh shit, guys. Swing, which is another valuable property. Inline block. Now, inline block basically allows us to place different characters next to each other. Now, last year we did Star Wars. We watched like the whole movie of Star Wars. Dave Chappelle is currently trying to be cancelled right now, which is really crazy. Anything I'm going to create next, if you like this video, is basically the beginning. You start slowly, and then you do it very, very fast, and then how YouTubers do it, like just like this, push. Nope, like this. No, like this, like boom. Okay, so we'll be going straight right into it. We'll be creating Squid Game, and this will be red light, green lights, which is the first game of Squid Game. And we'll be starting out with the HTML document, which will be kind of like the viewport for our game. And I did a lot of things already to quicken things up. So right here we have the Squid Game title, which is right here. Then we have the Bootstrap, which we imported. We also imported CSS, and then we imported jQuery, which should be the framework for JavaScript to make our coding a little bit faster. Now, header, we have red light, green lights, and which is right here. And then I think I'm gonna just do something I did earlier, which is making the lights the red basically. And this is the container which should be writing a lot of things inside. And I'm just going to start up with the lights, basically the lights that will be displaying the red light and the green lights, and I'm just going to give that an ID of light back. Sorry, light back, and then give it a class of red. So we're doing this, I think we should do this inside this div, and we'll be creating a div, and we'll be giving the class of light center. Now this will be the lights, the red lights and the green lights, and this will just be like a background black color. So I'm gonna give this an ID of light center. This is going to be like a circular thing. Then we're going to give this a class of red. Okay, I think that looks good. Next, we're going to be creating the timer. Sorry, this is supposed to be for the audio tag, which I didn't create yet. This is going to be for the timer. We're going to be creating a day for the timer, so ID of we're going to be creating a timer. Underscore div, and yeah, and then we're going to create a line break. I know there's a new way to do this, but I'm just going to keep it this way. And then we're just going to be creating our player, give him an ID of player 456. Now player 456 was actually obviously we have to be player 456 because he was the only one that survived the game, so obviously we will be using him as our main character. And then we will be creating the finish line. Now, you know there's a red line where they usually run to after the game. That will be the finish line, and then we'll give it an ID of finish. Next, we will be creating the killer robot, the girl that sings, and then she turns around and then she kills people. Killer robot. And then we give it a class of not looking. Now, you know when she's when she turns around, then it's a green light. So right now she's not looking. So when the game starts, she will not be looking at us, and it's going to be red light. Now we'll be appending the green light to the red light using JavaScript, which we'll be doing much later. So right now we're just going to focus on creating the killer robots and then the Squid Soldier. So we'll call him Squid Soldier, and then give him a class of Squid Soldier also. Then again, we can name this, we can give it the same names because this is a class and this is an ID, so they are totally different properties, I guess. And next, we will be creating the buttons. The buttons will be move and stop, so we'll be creating the buttons move and stop. Give that a class of buttons, just to know that this is where we'll be storing the buttons. So inside the div, we'll be creating the buttons. The first will be given a line break also to separate it from our characters. And then the first button tag right here, give it a type of button, and then give it a class of now because we imported Bootstrap, we will be using a lot of Bootstrap classes that would help us easily quickly style our buttons. So move my system a little bit here. This is going to be move button, and this next one is going to be next one is going to be what? Stop button. Let's have a look at my CSS file here. Okay. And these buttons will be given BTN, which is the Bootstrap class. They will also be given it BTN success. Now BTN success basically makes the button green, in which will be moving in the green light. So I think that makes sense. Get rid of this space right here, and then we will also be creating. The next one is going to be danger, which means danger means red, which means that we will be clicking the red button whenever the game stops. Now I don't really know how you guys what you guys think about Squid Game, because I think it was a pretty cool game. Now my friend actually told me about this before I started watching. I didn't even know it would be popular because he told me it was like Takeshi's Castle, yeah. And then I started watching it, and the first part I was watching, okay, this is going to be the audio part of the game. Now you can see that I have some audio files right here. This is the girl singing, audio MP3. Then we have the end, the MP3 on the left bar right here. And then we also have the win.mp3. So the win.mp3 will be the sound that plays whenever the user wins the game. And then the end will be a gunshot. Now you guys can, if you guys want to follow me up on this, you can get a gunshot sound that plays after you lose the game. And then this is audio, is just basically her singing her normal songs whenever she wants it to start moving. So like I was saying, okay, we'll be creating a source right now for the mp3 file. Now this actually comes with commands we should be using in the JavaScript later on. So basically I'm just going to link this to my mp3 real quick. mp3, and then tell the browser that this is an mp3 file. And then this will be a message we'll be creating. Okay, you can see it plays right now. So I'm just going to put that off. Yeah, it works. And then this is going to be the song we play when the browser does not support the audio tag. Now this is the message we're going to show to people, that the browser does not support the audio tag, which is this right here. So that's pretty basic stuff. And I think that's everything we have to do right here. And this is basically linking it to my JavaScript file. Now next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating our characters real quick. And then after that, we're going to be jumping to the CSS creation. we're going to be styling the body of our file. Now I did a time lapse through the asset creation of the different characters, and I just remembered I was telling a story earlier on about how my friend basically told me about Squid Game, told me it was like Takeshi's Castle, and then I was watching and I wasn't really fancying the storyline. And I was watching it and I wasn't really fancying the storyline because I wasn't really fancying the storyline because I wasn't fancying the storyline because it felt like a drama. I thought it was going to be like a live event, but now basically I am just going to create I'm creating the body colors. You can see that right there. The font size, the font family, Arial, the font size 17px, which is basically units of measurement in CSS. And then this is basically a brown color. I will be given to C4549557. Just the 9 here, and this is like a brown color for the background, almost like the ground, kind of like a sandy kind of environment. And I'm just gonna give it a line height of 1.5 em, 1.5. This is kind of like 16px, almost the same thing, but it's like a different kind of measurement. So this is basically the same thing as 16px. I could basically write 16px. So I want it about yeah, just leave it that way. And next we're going to be styling the header. Styling the header of it. And we're going to give it the background of a kind of like a nice gray color. 33. Good. We have to make that a little bit bigger, but we jump to that later. Color. This. Okay. Nice. Next, we're going to give it a padding to make that a little bit bigger, and I think 20px should be decent amount. Yeah, that looks good. So yeah, I was watching the text align make this. You're just going to center this up, and then margin bottom will be 10px. I'm trying to tell you guys a story while I'm doing this, and it's definitely not going to work out, but I'm just going to try. So I was watching the movie and I didn't really fancy the whole thing because I thought it was a variety show, but it wasn't. It was kind of like it was kind of like a drama, and I wasn't enjoying it. I was waiting for the game to start, and I was about to stop watching it until the parts where the guy brought the cards and then he said, if you're going to win, you pay me this money, and then he didn't have the money, and then started slapping him and stuff. So it was really, that part really kept me watching the movie, and I'm glad I kept on watching because the stories were it was unique. Yeah, it was unique, and I think that basically what got me. That's basically what got me. I love watching movies that stories are unique. Like, I don't even watch love story movies anymore because I feel it's too generic, it's too common, kind of. So I don't watch that anymore. And we've done the container styling. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to style the box. And then we're going to give this a background. Now the box isn't present right now. It's not present right now on this. You can see it doesn't say no results. It's not present in our HTML file because we will be importing this using in our JavaScript file. This is going to be the box that displays where people win the game. And I'm going to just give this a background of the same color as this. Now, I see a lot of movies where people try to be inclusive of all kinds of mentalities, and I think that kind of kills movies. Like, I'm not a fan of DC anymore because I feel like they have ruined the whole idea of movies. Like, people are trying to educate us right now when they're creating movies instead of just trying to entertain us. Like, I know a lot of things are wrong. I know racism is wrong. I know basically gender discrimination, age discrimination, and all kinds of discriminations. All those things are wrong. But like, could you, if you're at all going to teach us in a movie, you shouldn't like put in our faces all the time that, hey, this or that. Now, you could teach people things in a movie without actually making it so obvious. I think it makes it really cringy. Like Batman, for example, is super cringy. It's super cringy, and I think it's wrong how cringy it is. I couldn't even make it past episode 1, season 2 of Batman. Now, the only reason I watched season 1 was because of the actress, but I felt she didn't really fancy the role anymore because of how cringy it was. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, but I think, sorry, this is a bit background, but I think it's a major problem of cancel culture. It's a major problem of cancel culture. It's crazy. It's bringing so much politics into things. It's wrong. It's super wrong. And given this width of 100 px and the height of like, I enjoyed the James Bond movie. I enjoyed the James Bond movie. I thought it was cool, and I hope they don't ruin the movie by trying to appeal to every single audience out there. I hope they don't ruin the movie because I really love the James Bond series, and I love the whole characteristics of the character. And if you're going to try to make alterations to the characters, then you should probably create a new movie and don't call it James Bond. I think that's the way to go. So I don't watch now this is for the background color of the lights. Now this is going to be where the red light shows, which is light center. And basically I don't watch the Flash anymore. I don't watch a lot of DC series anymore because of how much they are trying so hard to appeal to every single audience out there and trying to avoid the cancel culture part of things. I know Dave Chappelle is currently trying to be cancelled right now, which is really crazy. Like, dude, leave the guy alone. But just crazy, man. Position absolute. So I think we're going to I'm just going to add a margin of 12 px. Now the margin basically adds like self-explanatory. Adds margins to things. Now we'll be adding the color later on. I just wanted to like style the whole thing to make it fit into the black box before we add the color. Color is going to be a class. I think we added a class to light center. Right about, okay, the class of red. So we'll be creating a class in CSS called red, and then we're going to just add the red color there. So next we're going to be creating the player, starting the player in there, and then player 456. We have to import those characters into the, into the file. So I'm going to do that real quick. There's an assets folder here where all the characters should be in. So all the characters have been added, and we can go ahead styling our characters. So like, I don't know what you guys think, but I know I'm talking about a different movie entirely, but that is the whole idea of Squid Game that I really love. I love they just told us a story. They didn't try to validate their story. They just told us a story, which I thought was pretty cool. So we're going to give our character a width of 100 px and a height of 100 px because that is the size of the character already. I'm not really sure if this code is necessary, but we're going to just do that. And there's our character. And then we're going to give him a display of inline block. Now inline block basically allows us to place different characters next to each other, and that is why we're using the display of inline block. Give him a position of absolute, and then left of Simon objects. Next, we're going to be creating our finish line, which is just going to be like a straight line, and going to be like a straight line. Now, I remember the old guy in the movie where he was pretty fussed about it. I know there are a lot of like hints. I saw a YouTube video that was showing like a lot of hints in the video that sorry, let me just do this real quick. The finish line, okay? Give it a height of 100 px, make it long enough. And there were a lot of hints in the movie about the old guy being the creator of the game, but I never really paid attention to all those hints until I saw the video on YouTube. Apparently, when he got into the bus, he wasn't gassed to fall asleep. He was player 001 and he wasn't showing the foul among the players. He also was enjoying the red light green light game when the scanner was scanning people, didn't catch him up in the scanner, and a lot of different things like that. And the so I just moved the finish line to the far left. You can see it right there. And we're going to add a lot of different characters there. We're going to start with the killer robots. And there were a lot of, on the walls in the rooms where they slept, there were paintings that gave like hints. So I think I should just copy this to make sure I don't type in the wrong thing. There were a lot of hints on the walls that so the next games we're going to play, which I didn't even take note of, which is really pretty crazy game. I told people that if I was in the game, I would have probably been killed. I don't mean killed in the game because when they started shooting people in the game, I think the first thing that was going through my mind would be I think I should run together with these people and see if I can escape. Now again, this inline block is to place elements between each other, so you're going to see that in a sec. To like basically escape with them, and I think the first thing that goes to my mind was if I don't run right now, I could die, stay and die. So I think that would have been what I would have done. I would have ran with them and I would have gotten shot because I would have been scared of staying there. And what they're going to around to be, this guy can probably escape. So I want to escape with them. So the killer robot isn't showing because we'll be importing her with a different class. I just want to do the same thing for the Squid Soldier, not shoulder. Squid Soldier. I'm just going to copy that from here. I'm trying to avoid naming these guys differently. Trying to avoid that as much as possible because that would be a nightmare for us going forward, especially when we're trying to write on JavaScript. I think the breadth in my block absolute, and I think this is going to be like the same for this, but I'm just going to push him a little bit to the left more than the other character. I'm just going to take him a little bit down, like 300 something, just to make him distinctive from the killer robots. Next, we're going to be creating the Squid Soldier. Like I said, we're going to be importing them. Now we're doing this because we're going to be using the ID for a different thing in the JavaScript file. I'm just going to import this guy, background, URL, and just go to the assets folder and take in the Squid Soldier. And you can see him on the far left right now. Far left. So I'm just going to put on the internet. and see what we can do. And refresh. And yeah. Now the reason why I'm showing is because we're important bootstrap of the internet. So next we're gonna do not looking. Background color. Then again, what would you guys have done if what would you guys have done if you were if your friend was was with you in the game, the marble part of the game? Well, again, this would have finished the movie. What would you have done if your friend was in the marble part of the game where you had to kill your friend? Would you have done that all for the sake of money? Would you have done that? Now we created two characters of Squid, of the character of her looking and not looking. Now let me check if we imported that in the HTML file. We didn't import that, so we'll be appending that in the JavaScript file. Now we haven't created this yet either. I'm just going to open JavaScript file and basically it's just for this the black. I know we haven't seen the game. We haven't seen what I'm trying to do yet, but like we created a radius, yeah, and we're going to be doing that. I'm going to show you the red radius right here, creating that with I'm just going to show you, sorry. I'm going to show you what I'm trying to do with the black box. There you go. That's the red color. And next is for the buttons. I'm going to try to separate the buttons from the player by giving it a margin top. Sorry, fuck. Margin top, let's say 60 px. Try 80 px. Sorry. Okay, I think that's high enough. And I think that's everything for our CSS file. And so far our game looks pretty good. It looks pretty decent. And you know, let's go back to our JavaScript file. And we are going to be creating a ton of variables for JavaScript file. And the first variable we'll be creating will be the red color. Now the red color, we're going to be changing it to green. So we're just going to store this in a variable called light. And we're going to store it in a string called red. I don't think semicolons are still important in JavaScript, but I'm going to be doing a lot of traditional ways of doing things because I also code in Java and Python and PHP and stuff. So JavaScript kind of confuses me because the syntax is so different, and yeah. I'm going to be doing a lot of things the old-fashioned way, just to avoid confusions. Well, there are a lot of ways to write if statements, and I do a lot of things in JavaScript, but I'm just going to keep to my semicolons and stuff. I know you don't need this in Python, but yeah, you need it in Java. You need it a lot in Java, and a lot of other languages like Kotlin and Rest. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep this. So this is for the starts. I'm going to start an integer called 1. When you start the game, and we're going to be creating another one for the movement of the character. We're going to call it runner, and we're going to set to 0 because initially you're not moving anywhere. Next, we're going to be creating a variable called repeater, which is what we're going to be using as our intervals, using to set intervals and clear intervals for our data. So we're going to just put this on null initially. Next, we're going to be creating this, which we're going to be using a time reducer, which we're going to be using for our timer, and basically moving our characters and a bunch of different stuffs like that. and we're gonna just set this to 10,000 initially. Now this doesn't have this can be any number. It's not, but 10,000 seems like a good number, I guess. Same with this guy. Now I think we're just storing numbers we should be using later on. Minus 10. And this we're gonna import our audios, our audio files. Yeah. Just now this audio is for the girl singing, and the next audio is going to be for next audio we're gonna call it kill. This is the gun sound when the user loses the game. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna copy this. Oh shit, fuck. I did Ctrl C and then I did Ctrl V, guys. That is horrible. What did we call this? We call this end, right? Yeah. And then next we're gonna create another variable for when the user wins the game. Win song, which is gonna be I don't know if I should play the song for you guys. Let me see if I can. No, it's whatever. But it's a song I got this off YouTube though. It's a song that they play for the Squid soldiers when we call this when they're in victory. It's for the Squid soldiers when they win the game, which is pretty cool. So the first thing we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be creating the countdown. Yeah, I'm gonna be creating this countdown in a JavaScript file. Now I don't know, just create a note first. Countdown to avoid confusions. I don't really know what to be calling this. First thing we're going to be doing is creating time left, and let's give it 20 seconds. I don't know how long the game it took the players to run from the start line to the finish line initially, but we're gonna go with 20 seconds and we're gonna see how far we can go. Then we can change that later on. So first 20 seconds, and then creating another variable that basically gets the ID from our HTML file. Element by ID, which is timer div. I'm just gonna copy this again to avoid using the wrong names, because experience can teach you a lot of things, guys. If you use the wrong names, it can be very frustrating because you will not even know where the error comes from. Now again, we're using jQuery for our framework. Now we could easily use the $ for jQuery, but then again, because this is a variable and then the data does not exist initially, we have to still type this in. But if data exists initially, we would have to use a $, but we still have to type this in, because apparently in jQuery you cannot use a $ as a reference to this if the data does not exist initially. So later on you will see what I'm trying to say, and next we're going to create another variable called timer ID, and basically it's going to set the interval for the countdown. Now what the set interval function does is it basically dictates how many times a function will be run. So this is a function we'll be creating called countdown, and basically it's going to dictate how long the function will run. This is in milliseconds, so 1000 milliseconds is a second. So every second our countdown function is implemented. Basically every second passes, right? So that is how that's going to be. Next we're going to be creating our function called countdown, and then this basically does the countdown. So yeah, sorry, I don't know what the hell that was. I'm not trying to do a page transition effects, guys. Sorry. So basically if the time left is less than 0, that's basically -1, then the user has to die, right? So we're going to just do this right now. I'm not going to talk to avoid confusing myself. So So guys, what I basically did right here is basically if the timer is less, basically time left right here, if it's less than 0, then the player stops, and then we display the image we'll be creating later on, a loose display that says you lost the game. And else if that doesn't happen, then the game should continue. So yeah. And again, I'm just gonna get the time left, and we're gonna make it make sense to us playing the game by adding seconds remaining, basically like an integer set seconds remaining. Yeah, append that to the countdown. And so there it is. Our timer is working right now. I'm gonna add a space in front to make that look okay. That's great. Next is our audio file. I'm gonna add our audio file. I just removed the mic. So it's an autoplay right now. So it's auto playing. This autoplay right now. So we're gonna dictate when it plays and when it doesn't. With our autoplay function. Now, this is going to be the audio creation. We're going to create a function real quick. Sorry. Function called play audio. And I'm going to do kill play. Now, basically, this is the audio for the kill, the gunshots, and we're going to be creating another one for the singing, and then for the winning. So this is going to be pause. Now again, I said this this audio tag comes with functions, the play and the sing function. You can check that out on the console.log, and you can see that. So I'm just going to call this kill audio. Then I'm going to be creating another one called just audio for the for the singing, when she's singing. I'm just going to call it maybe sing audio, I guess. Sing audio. I'm just going to make the same thing for this. So next we're going to be creating a function that randomly changes the lights of the game. So we're going to be doing next. So randomly change. I barely watch a lot of new movies right now, because I belong to this art group where every year we watch old movies. Now last year we did Star Wars. We watched like old movie of Star Wars, and it was pretty fun, and I realized how much gap there is in the movie industry, where some people are creating cool movies, people are not creating cool movies. Like everything is just based on specific cultural dynamics, and it's really really sad, to be honest. Like I love watching a lot of old movies because it's more entertaining, and it just like you just act in a movie. No one gets offended or anything. Like it's a movie. So like right now movies are just crazy, but like I said, I really liked this one, and I loved the whole concept behind it, and I respect the movie a lot. So yeah. Sets. Oh shit, sorry. the set interval function, what it does is it takes a function which is changed that to be creating that after this function for changing lights, and then it basically randomizes how many times the light is changed, which is random basically. So next we're going to be doing the function for that. We're going to be checking if the light is red, and I think we should break down how this works. So basically, whenever she turns, she wants to check if you're moving or not. And if the light is green, she turns. If it's red, she's not looking. If it's green, she's looking, right? And then whenever she's looking, the song stops. Whenever she's not looking, the song plays. And then she will check if you're moving or not. And then if you're moving, the game stops. The display is losing display. And then when losing display it's shown, then you lose the game, and then the killer sound is activated. I'm gonna check if it's red. Next we're gonna clear interval, the repeater, then like I said, we're going to be repeating this function for the check lights every half a milliseconds. And then we're going to be creating the check light function right here. Change light function, sorry. I think we should call this check light instead of change light. We're not changing light, right? We're checking the light, so I think that works. So if the light, which is the variable we stored, if it's equal to red, now it's equal to red by default, and the runner is equal to 1. Now basically 1 is if he's moving, yeah, because 1 is equal to 0. Now moving is equal to 1, so if the light is red and the user is moving, then he loses the game. Just gonna implement that real quick. So next we're going to be creating the losing code. I think I should just make this full screen because this might be like a long chunk of code to display. Sorry, let's go into this real quick. Display losing card. function. I'm going to do the lose display, which is the function we created, which is the function we called earlier. We called the function earlier, but we haven't made use of it. Like this is it right here. So we're going to be creating this function now for the lose display. And basically we're going to be getting the container which we stored all our elements in, getting that by the ID container. And we're going to basically hide it, and then we're going to append this new thing we're about to do to the container, to an empty container basically. So variable lost, so the user is lost. And we're going to write a good display for the user whenever the lose is going to be stored in a string, and of course we're embedding the string to the HTML element. So I don't really know what we should be calling this. Let's see. I don't even know. Okay, we haven't called this function yet. We haven't called the play audio function apparently. Okay, we're gonna call it later though, so that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. So variable loss, we're going to be displaying the user losing, and we're going to do this in a div real quick. So basically, guys, what this function basically does is we created a a um we created a div. We're going to be appending to the HTML document, and then we said, so sad how you couldn't win a kids game even though your life depended on it, which is what will be as our header, and then it says refresh the page to play again, and then basically method chaining the lost variable is created first, which is hidden. It's appended to the body and faded in. Now this code basically fades it in, append to body, then fade in 2000 milliseconds, that's 2 seconds, and then we play the kill audio, which is kill.this, and I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And yeah, and I don't know if I added something extra. This is for this, and I don't know what this is for. Okay, oh, we didn't add closing this. Oh, now it makes sense. I missed that out. So yeah, sorry about that. And this shouldn't be here. Okay, I think our code is cool now. Moving on to the winning display. So basically this is what we're going to be displaying when the user wins. So we'll display winning card. Display winning card. The card has a D at the end. And this should be whatever, it doesn't matter though. So guys, this is the message for the winning card. We basically created the same thing we did. We hid the container, and then sorry, this camera keeps going off. So we hid the container, and then we added we appended this new variable we created called win. It's basically hidden, and then it's appended to the body, and then it's fading in 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds. So what we did is we added the line height, the background color, and a message. It says congratulations, you survived. And then we play the winning song, and then we declare the interval of time and ID. Next, we're going to be creating the function for changing the lights. We're basically changing it to red light or green light. We'll change that to change lights. Now remember, we already called this function earlier. We've called this function earlier right here. Basically, a function that changes the lights at random times. So we're going to be creating the function for changing the lights from red to green. So basically, if the light is green, then if it's red, then it should be green, and if it's green, it should be red. Pretty straightforward. So we're gonna just do that. So if the light is red, then we basically make it green. Now this is the radius of the light we created, light center, and then again we're trying so hard to avoid making any mistakes. Light center, we're going to remove the class currently there, and we're going to remove the class which is red class. And we're going to add a class. We're going to add the green add class. Add class which is green. So if the light is red, then we make it green. Then we remove the class red, and then we add the class green. And then that's for the light center. And also for the killer robot, when the light is green, if it's green, she has to be not looking, and then we remove the class looking, and then we add the class remove the class looking, and then we add the class not looking. So remove class. God, I'm trying so hard not to misspell this, guys. Kilorobots. So you can see why we use the. You can see why we use the different. You can see why we use the different classes here, because we're using the ID, and then we'll also be using the class in JavaScript file. So we're going to remove the class not looking, yeah, or looking. We're going to remove the class looking, sorry, because it's green, yeah, she's supposed to be not looking, and then we add the class not looking. So this is not be looking, so you guys can run for your life. I'm just going to make sure in the CSS file it's called not looking. I think I should just copy this. I'm trying so hard to not need this guy's the wrong way. Okay, the same. Cool. And then we're going to play the song. Then she sings. She sings whenever she's not looking. And then, yeah, that is basically that. I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. So this is the game for the loose display. And then she's not looking, and then when you start moving, okay, we haven't done the code for the moving yet, but once it's green, she would stop looking, because that's how it works. And yes, we're going to do else. So if it's red, if the light is red, she remove the class green, and then we add the class red, and then remove the class not looking, and then she's looking, and then she checks, she sings, she stops singing, and then she checks if you're moving or not. And then whenever the check red is called and then you're moving, we display the losing. Display the losing function, which is this message right here. And this is going to be the last chunk of code for us, is the buttons for moving. The buttons for moving. I'm just going to initialize this first. Get the element by the ID, which is the move button. Again, I'm just going to go and get this from here. I'm going to go get this from here, the move button. So we didn't give it an ID of a move button, which is what we're supposed to do. I'm just going to add the ID right here. Give it an ID of move button. And give this another ID of move button. So this is stop button, sorry. Stop button. I believe that works. And then next we're gonna just get the ID, call it move button, JavaScript file. Yeah. And then once you click on the button, it carries out a function that basically moves the player. So I'm going to just do that. So if the start is equal to 1, then basically starts, which means is equal to 1, the game hasn't good. That's the first value, so it means the game hasn't started yet. So we are going to set the game to green, right? So once the game starts, the light goes from red to green. We're going to initialize that real quick. And then light is equal to green. Go to the string green. And then this real good. And then start is equal to 0, which means the game has started. And then we are going to play the song when she starts singing. Basically, she starts singing when the game starts. Then player 4, 5, 6. We're going to add an animate function to this. I don't really know what's going on here. Let me see, what's this? So the animate function actually has like 4 properties. Basically the styling, the speed, the ease, and then the callback. So the styling is basically for moving our player. The speed is what we're going to be using the time reducer for, and then the easing, I think there are 2 values to that property. We have the swing and then we have the linear. Now the linear is like moving at a constant speed, and then the swing, which is another value for the property, is basically the beginning you start slowly, and then the middle you move very very fast, and then you move towards this move slowly towards the end. Now we're running for our lives, guys, so we're supposed to move at a constant speed. Although we're going to be using linear for that. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to try to implement what I've been saying all through now. So I'm going to try to do that. And basically, when we hit the move button, we will be moving to the left. And let's say 1,000. 1,000 moving to the left. 1,000. And then the linear for moving at constant speed, and then the win display. For the callback function. So now we don't have to call this because we'd have to call it because it's already in a function, so it means it's called whenever this function is called. And yeah. Now it means we're moving, we're going to be equal to 1, and then the stop repeater, call that here, and then we're going to check the lights. And this is for the move button, so we're just going to check. So I'm just going to add a move when move button is clicked. Confusing ourselves. Check lights, and then yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so next we're going to be doing the function for the stop button and what happens when the stop button is clicked. Now I think we can try this out. Now he's moving. Okay, he's not moving. Why is he not moving? What does that say? Expected of this. Okay, apparently I missed something for the functions. Oh, okay. So this is supposed to be for the stop button. So when the stop button is clicked, so this chunk of code right here basically gets the position of the user. So I'm just going to just give a note right here. Gets the position. And then basically this next chunk of code is just to reduce, when it gets towards the end, the speed should be reduced. So we're going to be using 1,100 instead of 1,000. I'm going to minus that from the minus sign. And then divide that, and then multiply by 1,000, 10,000. And basically what this does is it stops the user. So we get the user's position, and then we basically slow him down, and then we stop him. And then once it stops, the runner will be equal to 0, which is the initial position of the user before the game started. Yeah? Is 1 equals to 0? Yeah, 1 is equal to 0. So basically it takes the user back to his animation, which was, he didn't have any animation when the game started, which is this. So I think our game looks decent. I think we can win this. We can win this. Let's see what we can do. We're gonna just maximize our screen right here, and then we're gonna see if we can win this game. So let's go. Put on the sound, and there's no sound right now. Okay, we have to move. Okay, we have to move for it starts singing. So let's move. Okay. Okay, the green light isn't showing. I thought we had painted the green lights. So let's see what we did wrong. Okay, this is supposed to be capital letter and be misspelled looking. Oh guys, we use remove class instead of add class. So whenever the light is centered, remove the class green, we add the class green, and yeah, that's a mistake we made, and I think this should fix the problem now. Good, that works. And then green sync, and I think everything is good. So I think we're gonna fix that. I don't think she should be singing initially though. I'm just going to autoplay and see if that still works. So okay. Oh shit. We're gonna see if we can win the game right now, guys, and I think everything works perfectly now, and let's see what we can do. So refresh and then start moving. Stop. And move and stop. Oh shit, guys. Okay, let's go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. Go. Stop. And okay, so the timer works. At least now we know that works. And then I think we have to increase the time a little bit. I think it's too low. And then I think we should make that 30 should be good. Let's see what we can do there. So let's go. Stop. Move. Stop. Move. Stop. Move. Stop. Move. Stop. Move. Stop. 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 Oh guys, I'm not sure we're going to make it. Stop. Stop. Oh shit. I don't think we would have made it though. I think we should make this I don't know guys. 40 should be decent. 40 should be decent. Let's go. Move. Stop. Move. Stop. Move. Stop. Move. Stop. 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 Move. Stop. Okay, guys. I could have sworn I was moving in the red right there. Move. Stop. 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 Move. Stop. So I think we can use 35 because okay. No. Oh shit, guys, no, move. Okay. Stop. No, stop. 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 No, stop. No, stop. No, stop. Okay, I think that's it. Okay. And that is the sound for when we win the game. If you remember, this is the sound for when the stages are moving, but I think we can do it in 35 though. I think 35 should be a decent move. And you know, yeah, 35 should be a decent move, so let's see what we can do. Then again guys, if you want to create another Squid Game, sorry, No, stop. We're gonna prove if I can do this in 35. Because I know we had some seconds to spare in the last one, so stop. No, stop. No, stop. And I think 35 should be okay. So it works. So guys, if you want me to create any more Squid Games, I know there are a lot of games out there. They have the original Squid Game. Apart from Red Light Green Light, you have the glass game and the night part where they're killing themselves. I think also the cookie game where you like trace through. So any game you want me to create next, if you like this video, you can tell me what games you want next, and I'm gonna do a short tutorial on how to create those games. And yeah, let me know how you feel about this game, and if you could create it yourself. I would love to see different versions of your games. I think I will include my email in the description of this video, so you can send in links to your games of Red Light Green Light, your own version of the game, and I would love to play it and see how that works. And yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more beautiful contents, and I'll see you next time. I don't think that was cool. I think I should I don't know how YouTubers do it, like just like this, like bam, push. No, like this. Like this, like boom.